Thank you to Shinola for sponsoring this video. This watch should not be this good for $1,650. I first came across Shinola about 5 years ago, and honestly, I didn't really think too much about the brand. It felt like another lifestyle brand, one of these that's more about marketing than the actual watches themselves. You know what I'm talking about? But what they've been doing lately actually completely caught me off guard. This is the Shinola Mechanic, a hand-wound mechanical watch assembled in Detroit with a thoughtful design and a build quality from somebody that's never seen Shinola in the flesh before that really surprised me. And to be honest with you, I think more people need to be paying attention to what Shinola does on a daily basis. The first thing that grabbed me about this watch was the design itself. It's vintage inspired, but more importantly, I love cushion cased watches, and this 39mm case fits the watch perfectly. The real standout is the dial though, the Art Deco numerals. There's a lot of personality of the watch. They're bold but playful. It's just like, it works. You see what I'm talking about. It also has that vintage look of a double domed embossed crystal. I really feel like I'm wearing a vintage watch when I wear this, except at a higher quality. It also has a matte black dial, which looks really good in the light. It's just very plain to contrast with the hands of the numerals being so colorful. The crown's also great. It has this nice tactile feel when you're winding the watch. The case finishing is sharp and consistent. In the world of watches, there's so many lookalikes and minimalist clones of different designs. I feel like for this one, it feels distinctive. It feels like its own. I've never seen this before, and that's kind of why I love it. All right, now let's break down the specs, which is something a lot of people assume that Shinola is not great for. The case is 39mm. It's 12.5 millimeters thick, and it's obviously made of stainless steel. It's water resistant to 50 meters, so I would definitely not recommend diving or really swimming in this watch, but for daily wear in the rain, spilling something on it, you're completely fine. Inside the watch is the manual wound Sellita SW210-1, which is a hand wound movement, obviously, but what's more important is it's reliable. It's easy to service because it's Sellita. There's so many movements and parts floating around that you'll never have a problem for the rest of your life. And more importantly, that domed crystal adds thickness to the watch, but the hand wound movement with no rotor actually makes this watch thinner, which makes it wearable, which also just looks really good. The strap actually was something that surprised me almost the most at this point. It's also a phenomenal black leather ridged strap. It's thick and well constructed, but I think the most interesting part is it's one of the most comfortable leather straps I've ever worn, and I think as you wear it over time, I've only had this for a couple weeks now, it'll wear in very nicely, as most genuine leather products do. And one more thing, if you know me, I don't like date windows, and this watch also doesn't have a date window, so if I wear this 2 times a week, for example, I don't have to set the date every single time. I just go right to the time and I'm good. Now here's where Shinola gets interesting, which is why I wanted to make this video, and a lot of the watch people, the people, probably you, always write Shinola off, and I don't really blame you to a certain extent. The perception is that they're just a watch brand with fancy packaging and fancy marketing. And to be fair, that actually might have been true early on in the brand's life cycle. But in my opinion, this watch proves that they've actually evolved, being a Swiss movement, unique design, American assembly, an American-made leather that they are literally cutting in Detroit. All of it sort of feels intentional, feels very American, when you don't really find that anymore. They actually invited me to do a virtual tour of their factory in Detroit, and I can say with certainty their attention to detail, their machinery, the cleanliness of the operation. I've been to a number of Swiss manufacturers at this point, and their factory in Detroit easily rivals what they're doing in Switzerland. I really was mind blown. I went in skeptical and honestly kind of surprised how confident they were that I would like it. And granted, it was tailored to me, so they knew what I was looking for. But honestly, I did come out impressed. There will be people in the comments who have done the same. I can guarantee you they think the same thing. So at this point, it doesn't seem like Shinola is just slapping a logo on imported parts and imported straps. They're building something. They're employing workers in the USA, specifically Detroit. And I think they're doing it at a much higher level based off the watch I have right here than I think a lot of you and even me really realized. That said, this is not just a puff piece about Shinola in this watch. There are a few things that I would like to call out. The water resistance is 50 meters, which I told you, which is fine for daily wear, but you're not going to swim in that. So if you're looking for that, this is probably not the watch for you. And since it's hand wound, you have to wind it daily or every other day if you're going to wear it every day. I personally really like that ritual. It really connects me with my watches. I have a number of hand wound watches, but some people get really pissed off at that. They want the automatic. They don't have to worry about winding it every single day. They just want to throw it on their wrist and go, and I also get that. And lastly, this is more about the perception of the brand rather than the product on my wrist right now. Shinola still carries a bit of that fashion brand stigma in a lot of watch circles, which I've alluded to a couple times now since you've been watching this video. But I think watches like this Mechanic and other watches that they produce can kind of lend themselves to shift Shinola out of that narrative. And that's part of the reason I wanted to make this video. So who is this watch actually for? Who should buy this watch? If you're someone who's tired for the same entry-level Swiss watches and you live in America and you want something America for the most part assembled and made, I feel like this might be for you. If you appreciate unique design, you like winding your watch, or you want to support American manufacturing, specifically in Detroit, this is also probably for you. I think it's a perfect everyday piece for somebody that's not looking to attract attention and just fly under the radar. That's kind of what it is at that point. Also, if you're looking for resale value, I never condone that, but especially with this, I also would not recommend that. But I think for the right person, this watch really does nail it. But at the end of the day, this watch should not be this good for $1,650. But it is. I think Shinola has come a long way since I was first introduced to the brand over 5 years ago. But the Mechanic shows that they're not just making watches. In my opinion, they're making American watches that matter. If you've been sleeping on Shinola, I think that this watch might change your mind. At least you should attempt to take a look at them. And I'm pro more American watch manufacturing. 50, 60 years ago, we were a powerhouse. That has not been the same over the last, honestly, 40 years. So it's exciting that Shinola is really pushing that narrative. Let me know in the comments. Would you wear this, or you prefer another watch at the price point? And I want to hear your thoughts. And if you're looking for other unexpected watches within the watch world, make sure to hit subscribe and like it. Why don't you? Thanks so much for watching, and go watch another video, because why not?